We will be going to start in another 1 minute. So, good afternoon, everyone. Guten Tag. I am Sonali, your German trainer, and today's topic will be countries and its languages. So, Länder und Sprachen. So, the word countries is Länder. This is again the plural form of Land. So, Land is country and Länder is the plural form. Und Sprachen, that means languages. Länder und Sprachen. Now, starting with the very first country is Germany, that is Deutschland. For Deutschland, in Germany we speak German, so German is Deutsch. Deutschland is the country, so here I'm writing all the countries. And just next to it, I will write all the languages. Sprachen, that means languages. So first one was Deutschland, and the language is Deutsch. So Deutschland is Germany and Deutsch is German. Next comes is Österreich. Österreich. So now this word Österreich, the meaning is Austria. Austria. It's not ostrich, so it's Österreich. Österreich. So again, we have the same language, German. So in Österreich, in Austria, the language is German. So Österreich, Deutsch. Coming to the next country is Portuguese. Portugiesisch. Das ist eine Sprache. So for the word Portugal, it is Portugal. Portugal. Portugal is Portugal. And the language is Portuguese. So Portuguesisch. 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 So Portugal is Portugal and Portuguesisch is Portuguese. Portugal, Portuguesisch, Portuguesisch. Next, we'll talk about Spain. Country is Spanian, Spanian, and the language is Spanish, Spanish, not Spanish. So for Spanish, the word is Spanish, niche, Spanish. Coming to the next country, it is France. So for France, the word is Frankreich. Frankreich. So Frankreich is France and the language is French. So for French, the word is Französisch. Französisch. O umlauts. SISCH. Französisch. So we have to take the sound of O. So Französisch. Next is the word Turkey. So for Turkey, the name of the country is Turkey. Turkey. So Turkey, and the language is Turkish. The language is Turkish. Turkish. Turkey is Turkey, and Turkish is coming to the next language. Next country is Poland. So for Poland, the word is Poland, and the language is Polnish. Polnish. The language is Polnish. Next one is Italy. So for Italy, the country is Italian. Italian. And the language is Italianish. Italianish. So Italy is Italian and the language is Italianish. Italianish. Next is our Switzerland. So for Switzerland, the word is Schweiz. Schweiz. And the language is German, so that means Deutsch, Französisch, Italianisch. And the last language is Retro-Romanish. Romansh. Retro-Romanish. NISCH. So we have 4 languages. Vier Sprachen in Schweiz. In Switzerland. So Switzerland has 4 languages. First one is German, that is Deutsch. Second is Französisch. Next is Italianish. And the last one is Retro-Romanish. So we have 4 languages. Vier Sprachen. Next country is our Groß-Britain. So for Groß-Britain, the word is Groß-Britannian. 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 That is Groß-Britain. And the language is English. So for English, the word is English. English. This word English we have learned yesterday only when the question was welche Sprachen sprechen Sie? Ich spreche Hindi, English und ein wenig Deutsch. So Großbritannien is your Great Britain and the language is English. Next is our Griechenland, that is Greece. Griechenland. And the language is Grecish, that is Greek. Grecish. So Greek is the language for Griechenland. Griechenland. Coming to the next country is Russia. So Russia, the name of the country is Rusland. Rusland. And the language is Russian, so it will be Rusish. Rusish. Next comes is Japan. So you know that for J, the sound is of ear sound, so it's Japan, not Japan or Japan. It's Japan, Japan. And the language is Japanese, so it will be Japanish, Japanish. Japan, Japanish. Next is our DUSR, that is USA. So we have an article for USR. So in USA, the language is English, so it will be English. English is the language for USA. DUSR, USA, and the language is English. Coming to the next country, as this is China, but we read it like Sheena. So it's Sheena, not China or China, it's Sheena. And the language is Chinese. So it will be, we will read this like Chinesish, Chinesish, and not Chinesish. It's Chinesish. So for China, the word is Sheena. I'm writing here, Sheena. So Sheena, we have a name also. And here I can write like Chinesish, Chinesish. So it's just for your pronunciation. Chinesish. So it's China is Sheena and the language is Chinesish. Coming to the next country, as this will be the last country we are going to do, and after that we'll learn how to frame sentences in this part. So the next country is Egypt. So for Egypt, the word is Egyptian. Egyptian. It's Egyptian. Egyptian. And in Egypt, people speak Arab. So it's Arabish. Arabish. Like we have the word rubbish. So it's Arabish. B-I-S-C-H. Arabish. So these were our countries and its languages. So the first one is Deutschland, and the language is Deutsch. The second one is Österreich, 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 and the language is again Deutsch. Third one is Portugal, Nummer 3 is Portugal, and the language is Portuguesish, Portuguesish. Next one is our Spanian. Spanian, the language is Spanish. Spanish. Next one is our Frankreich. So Frankreich is France and the language is Französisch. Französisch. Next one is number 6 as Turkey, that means Turkey, and the language is Turkish. Turkish. Next country is Poland. Poland, and the language is Polish. Polish. Next country is Italian. So Italian is Italy. It's Italian. And the language is Italianish. Italianish. Next one is Schweiz. Schweiz. So for Schweiz, the languages are Deutsch, Französisch, Italianish, and Retro-Romanish. So we have we also have the article for Schweiz as D. D Schweiz. D Türkei. Not most of, but like some countries have their article. So D Türkei has the article. D USA has the article. D Schweiz has the article. Next is our Gross Britannian, that means Gross Britain. So Gross Britannian is English, the language is English. Next is our Greece as Griechenland, and the language is Grecish. Grecish. Next is our Russia as Rusland. Rusland. And the language is Russisch. Russisch. Next is our Japan. This is Japan, so Japan. And the language is Japanish. Japanish. Next we have is DUSR. So it's USA as USR. And the language is English. English. Next, number 15 is Nummer 15 is China. So China is China, and the language is Chinesisch. Chinesisch. Next country is our Egypt as Egyptian. Egyptian, and the language is Arabish. Arabish. So these were our 16 countries and their languages. Now we will going to learn how to frame all this in a sentence. So yesterday we did one question as welche Sprachen sprechen Sie? Or you can also say welche Sprachen sprichst du? So I'm writing only in one form. That is the formal one. Now, if I want to say I speak German, Spanish, and I would say I speak English or Russian. So we can just pick any 4-5 languages and we can put it in the sentence, in the answer. So, ich spreche English, comma, Deutsch, comma, Russisch, comma, Spanisch, comma, und so weiter. Und so weiter. So it's und so weiter, that means etc. Etc. So I'm writing here the full form. Und so weiter, that means etc. is the full form is und so weiter. Und so weiter. That means and so on. And so on. So ich spreche English, Deutsch, Russisch, Spanish und so weiter. You can add any other language if you wish. Coming to the next part, how to talk about the languages and their countries in a sentence. So there are 3 ways of saying this part. So the first one is, this is the sentence structure. Sentence structure. So the first one is when I say man spricht, man spricht. For example, I take Greek as the language. So Griechisch, Griechisch in Griechenland. In Griechenland. Now, what can be the meaning of this line? Man spricht Griechisch in Griechenland. That means one speaks Greek in Greece. So this man, the meaning of man is like a person, one. A person speaks or one speaks. If I say one speaks German in Germany, so man spricht Deutsch in Deutschland. Starting from the very first country, if I say, so I've told the sentence for this part, man spricht Deutsch in Deutschland, man spricht Deutsch in Österreich. So if we have three languages like this, so German is a language which is spoken in Germany, then Switzerland, then Austria. So we can say man spricht Deutsch in Deutschland, Österreich, in der Schweiz. So when we are writing in, then that means the article changes here. So we have a rule in this. So this part we will be doing some other day because we have to learn articles for this. So man spricht Deutsch in Deutschland, Österreich und in der Schweiz. Und is and. Now, this was one way of writing a sentence. Another way of writing the sentence is you just have to change the possession of the word. So I will start with Griechenland. In Griechenland, next comes the verb because in German, all the verbs are in the second possession unless and until it is starting. If it is starting from a verb, that means it becomes a question. In Griechenland spricht man Griechisch. That means in Greece speak man Greek. So we can say in Deutschland spricht man Deutsch. In Frankreich spricht man Französisch. In Griechenland spricht man Griechisch. In die USA spricht man Englisch. In China spricht man Chinesisch. So this is the second way of framing a sentence. Next way of framing the sentence is if I just put the language in the first position. So it will be Griechisch and then comes the verb as spricht. So Griechisch spricht man in Griechenland. Griechenland. So this is one way of, this is the third way of telling a person like which language is spoken in which country. So here the translation is Greece. So I mean Greek, like one speaks Greece in Greek. So it's like this. So for example, I take here Italian. So first comes the language. So language is Italianish. Italianish spricht man in Italien. English spricht man in Großbritannien und die USA. So for English, we have two countries. One is Great Britain and the second one is USA. USA. Now comes the next part. So we will be learning about the Autokennzeichen. That means the symbols. The symbols for the country. So I will be just writing just here only. So in front before Deutschland. So for Deutschland, the symbol is DE, that is DA. DA is the symbol. These are Autokennzeichen, that means symbols. So I'm writing here the heading, Autokennzeichen. So Autokennzeichen are symbols. So for Deutschland, the symbol is DA. DA. Next is for Österreich. For Österreich, we have A. We have A. Next is for Portugal. For Portugal, we have the code as PL. It's PL. That is PL. So you can learn like it starts from P and it ends with L. So it's PL. So Portugal, the symbol for Portugal is PL and the language is Portuguese. Portuguese. Next comes is for Spanian. For Spanian. For Spanian, the symbol is A, that means E. For Spanian, the symbol is E. Next we have is Frankreich. Frankreich. So for Frankreich, we have FR. So that means FR. FR. Sorry, we have only F for this. So it's only F. Next is our Turkey. So for Turkey, we have TR as TR. TR. Next we have for Poland as PL. PL. So for Portugal, this is P, and for Poland we have PL. So this can be quite confusing. So please just make notes for this. So DA is Deutschland, A is Österreich, P is Portugal, A is Spanien, F is Frankreich, TR is D Turkey, PL is Poland. PL is Poland. Next comes is Italian. So for Italian, we have the symbol as I. So for I, it's E. So we don't say it I, we say it E. Next is for Schweiz. For Schweiz, we have the code word as Seha. Seha. Not the code word, but the symbol. So it's CH. CH is for Schweiz. Next comes is Gross Britannian. So for Gross Britannian, the code word is GB. GB. Next comes is Griechenland. For Griechenland, the code word is GR. GR. We have only 10 minutes left. Okay. So coming to the next part. So Rusland, we are going to skip this part. Japan, we are going to skip. Then comes is the USA. So again, we are going to skip this. China, Egyptian. We are going to skip all this. So these were the major Autokennzeichen that we are going to learn. And these were the languages. So for Germany, the word is Deutschland. If I say Italy, so Italy, the name of the country is Italian. If I say Japan, so it is Japan. Okay, so we can make a question like, welche Sprache spricht man in Deutschland? So this is one of the questions, which is, welche Sprache spricht man in Deutschland? That means which language one speaks in Germany. So we will be saying, either we can start with man spricht Deutsch in Deutschland, or we can say in Deutschland spricht man Deutsch, or we can say Deutsch spricht man in Deutschland. So these are the three ways of answering this question. Welche Sprache spricht man in Deutschland? Same way we can ask for, welche Sprache spricht man in Österreich? So Deutsch spricht man in Österreich. And if the question is, welche Sprache spricht man in Portugal? So Portugiesisch spricht man in Portugal. Or you can also say, man spricht Portuguese in Portugal. Welche Sprache spricht man in Spanien? So man spricht Spanisch in Spanien. Next is, welche Sprache spricht man in Frankreich? So in Frankreich spricht man Französisch, or man spricht Französisch in Frankreich. Next is our Poland. So for Poland, the question will be, welche Sprache spricht man in Poland? Next, the answer will be, man spricht Polnisch in Poland. If the question is, welche Sprache spricht man in Italian? So Italienisch spricht man in Italian, or you can also say, man spricht Italienisch in Italian. Next comes is Großbritannien. So welche Sprache spricht man in Großbritannien? So English spricht man in Großbritannien. So the meaning is, which language one speaks in Great Britain, or in Greece, or in Russia, in Japan, USA, China, or Egypt. So these are the three major ways of telling the answers. You can pick either one and just learn it and just tell people that what one speaks in which country. So these were all the countries and all the languages. So you have to learn it and just do check the spellings, because spellings are very important. In the end, we have SCH, that is sure. The sound of SCH is of sure sound. Turkish, Polish, Italianish, English, Greecish, Russisch, Japanish, English, then Chinesish, Arabish. So this is all for today. I hope you liked the class, and if you have any doubts or queries, so just mail us at feedback@lingogurugerman.com. And the recordings of this session and this Excel sheet will be shared to all the participants soon. Cheers done. Auf Wiedersehen. We'll meet you tomorrow.